Now, Fifth, when you continuously call Puff, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said.
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January.
Oh, that's why he says things. He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, yo.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right. Feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that.
Nigga Puff, like he called, we should kick it on the shit after the main.
Right.
And the nigga, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl.
You're not going to believe what's happening in the music industry right now, because Burna Boy, yes, the global Afrobeat superstar, the man carrying Africa on his back, is reportedly sounding the alarm about his connection with Diddy. And what he's hinting at, it's chilling. He's calling it a trap, not a partnership. A trap. The Grammy-winning artist is quietly dropping bombs about what's really happening behind closed doors, and it's exposing a side of the music business that no one was supposed to see. What looked like the collaboration of a century is now starting to feel like a cage with golden bars. Pressure. Silence. Questions no one wants to answer. And the deeper this goes, the more obvious it becomes. This isn't gossip. This isn't a rumor. This could be the moment that changes how the world looks at the music industry forever. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear, they didn't want you to know.
Isn't it weird that the government was so interested in Diddy's baby oil that they took 1,000 bottles away from his house? If the government took 1,000 bottles of baby oil and somebody had things what appeared to be baby oil, and then you have to listen to the prosecutor. He said that they seized 1,000 bottles what allegedly to be baby oil. Allegedly to be baby oil. So that's telling people that it wasn't baby oil. And people think that that was baby oil, they out their mind. I don't believe it was baby oil. Yo, bro, when they went up in there, they knew what they was gonna find. They knew what was ever in that baby oil or that those bottles that appeared to be baby oil, they knew about that at first. You gotta realize 9 times out of 10, that individual that got caught at the airport, that was supposed to be their carrier, told them what they was doing and what they had. I wouldn't put him past that he told them everything. So when they went up in there, they knew they had to take whatever was out there, and that thing that appeared to be baby oil, they took that.
Rewind for a second. Remember Burna Boy standing on that Grammy stage, holding that golden statue like he was holding the whole continent of Africa in his hands? That moment wasn't just a win, it was a revolution. He went from a Nigerian breakout star to a global Afrofusion powerhouse faster than anyone in history. Hit after hit, sold-out arena after sold-out arena. African giant started the movement. Twice as tall sealed his throne and earned him that historic Grammy. The world looked at him and saw it all. The fame, the fortune, the elite status, the kind of life most artists only dream about. But here's the part nobody talks about. Behind those blinding stage lights, behind those screaming crowds, behind those magazine covers, there was a storm building. Because even legends bleed, even kings get tested, and the higher you climb, the more dangerous the fall becomes. What was really happening when the cameras turned off? You're about to find out.
How many of those come back to be baby oil? Bro, listen to me. Costco don't sell that much baby oil. Where you know sell that much baby oil?
Yeah, I don't know any store that sell that much baby oil. I know Costco, they came out and said that they don't even sell baby oil.
My sentiments exactly.
But you personally, right? What do you believe was in the baby oil?
If you ever seen a massage parlor being raided and they walking out the people, do they take the massage oil with them when they go? No, they just walk out the people who are being arrested. If you ever seen a person getting arrested and the people being arrested in those brothel houses, do they take out the stuff in the brothel houses? No, they don't. They take the individuals who are being arrested out the brothel houses. For them to take 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it's like that they did not leave one. They left people there, but they ain't leave not one bottle. Nobody needed no baby oil. So my whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby oil. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that GHB.
What's that?
I think it's gamma hydrox. I looked it up, bro. Let me see. See if I can find it. I know this is just showing everything like that, but oh no. Let me. Yo, somebody tap dance or sing or do something, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing this. Oh, here it go right here. It's gamma hydroxy butyric. What is its effect on the body? It's a euphoria, drowsiness, decreased anxiety, and memory impairment. It works on the nervous system and gives you this feeling of euphoria. So they take that and rub it on her and you forget who you are, what you're doing. It can also give you memory loss, drowsiness, and that's under the DEA, the drug.
Then, almost overnight, something shifted. Fans noticed it first. The energy was different. The posts felt strange. One day he's celebrating like the world is his, and the next, he's dropping cryptic messages that feel cold, tense, almost like a warning. People started piecing it together like a puzzle, line by line, post by post, and that's when one name exploded into the conversation. Diddy. Yeah, that Diddy. What looked like a dream alliance. Afrobeat's biggest star meeting one of the most powerful figures in the entire music industry suddenly started raising red flags everywhere. Because here's the thing, Burna Boy didn't need saving. He was already winning. He was already global. He was already untouchable. So why did the cracks start showing the moment Diddy entered the picture? Why did his freedom seem to shrink? Why did the spotlight suddenly feel like a spotlight and a leash? That's when fans realized, sometimes the price of a throne is way higher than anyone's willing to admit.
No, you want to sit around and pretend to like bitch. That's what y'all do. And then you get these hard Jocelyn.
So I'm just
like
curious.
these are the you like half man bitches. No disrespect, but Jocelyn rough.
Them shoulders is.
And the way she like running up on, I already know she done strapped up on you.
Ooh. So Jack, let me ask you. There's one. Some of the shocking things
I hear that mean with a harness.
Oh. Okay, not a harness.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you this. I'm sure somebody's already asked you this, but have you ever been to a P. Diddy party?
Yeah, many, honestly.
And so, can you take us through like what goes on, like when you were there?
What did I say when y'all asked me about why was the TD Jakes at the Diddy party?
Yeah.
What'd I say? Money.
That's correct. Were you surprised that there were so many cameras in his houses?
No.
That he's recording these?
Of course. He is the J. Edgar Hoover of hip hop.
Okay.
Y'all done seen him put on the pyramid with a skirt?
So let me ask you, when you hear that Cassie was told to hire male escorts to come in what they call freak-offs now.
Yeah.
That is something, is that something normal that happens in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Freak-offs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody know that. I've been saying it.
Yeah.
What? How many times I got these? This is wild.
So do you feel like people, when they hear pink cocaine, Young Miami has to bring across?
Wait, the Tusi.
Yeah, the Tusi. That's what they call.
I found out. I talked to my drug guy because I wanted to be informed. Because people was calling it Tusi, that's calling it the Tunchi. I didn't know which one it was. So I talked to my drug guy, and my drug guy filled me in. And then it made perfect sense. Tusi.
Talk to him.
Drugs with Jaguar.
Let's talk.
Drugs education.
101.
So Tusi is the cocaine, but they take the ketamine and cook it up. And they fold it into the coke. Now, if you don't know what ketamine is what they call on the street special K. It's a veterinary drug. It's a horse tranquilizer. Now, gay men have been using this for years. See, back in the day, if you went to a gay party or a gay rave, there were certain drugs that you would always find on hand. Viagra, ecstasy, special K, and cocaine. Now, see, the cocaine keep you up all night, but unfortunately, it gives you limp noodle because of with the blood flow. So you with a half-hard dick all night. So that's why you have the Viagra to make sure that the dick involuntarily stays hard while you're numbing yourself with the coke. Now, see, the ketamine, that's a horse tranquilizer, so that relaxes all your muscles. You could get by 80 ton gorillas. You wouldn't feel a thing. So now, your dick is gonna stay hard. You numbed up and you high. You got the ketamine in you so you don't feel shit. And then you add the ecstasy to put in the feeling that you've now blocked out. And now you got a pump.
Now you might be sitting there thinking, okay, how serious is this really? And the honest answer? It's way deeper than anyone imagined. Reports are coming out that Burna Boy's deal with Diddy wasn't just a partnership, it was a warning sign. A red flag dressed up in designer clothes. On the surface, it looked picture perfect. Burna brings the talent, the global fan base, the cultural firepower. Diddy brings the connections, the industry muscle, the power moves. Sounds like a dream team, right? But behind closed doors, a completely different story. Whispers are saying the agreement came loaded with restrictive terms. Control over his revenue, control over his creative direction, even control over his tours. Every move tied to a condition, every one shadowed by a clause. What started as the opportunity of a lifetime slowly began to look like a beautifully wrapped trap, where the artist sings, but somebody else holds the keys. And that, right there, is where the nightmare really begins.
Stuff that happened back in the day. And then maybe that if they knew there was gonna ever be a YouTube or they knew there was gonna ever be social media, a lot of stuff probably wouldn't have got played out like it did. But things happen and these are just stories from the past. I would like to use that as, what you call that? Just to clear the facts up what's going on. But it all started, we was in Atlanta. And this story starts when I'm with Puff and he's in the exotic bookstores and he's doing shopping, right? He's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, you know, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that, because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, you know, he got to go put it on the counter and, you know, show everybody what he's getting. So as he's going, I'm just looking at the places where he's picking stuff from. So So this one part, he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I was like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo. I was messing with him. Because people don't understand, you know, we was like friends. He was a part of the same gang. So I'm still gonna tease him. I'm still gonna mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs, and he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you can do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. When he got to, I just waited at the counter. When he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like, he gave the guy a stack, something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s and nothing like that. And I mean, like, he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on a G5 jet, and we flew to G4 jet, and we flew to North Carolina. So later on that, I think that afternoon, same day, this rapper and him, they all in the room together. You know, it's Sarah, the girl, Puff, and this dude.
But here's the heartbreaking truth. Burna Boy wouldn't be the first artist to walk into a deal like this. Music history is littered with legends who signed contracts that destroyed them. Icons who sold millions of records, shaped entire generations, defined whole eras, and still ended up fighting just to own their own voice. And let's be real, Diddy isn't new to this. He's a man who's built empires on high-stakes negotiations, and that alone forces the question nobody wants to ask out loud. What exactly does Burna stand to lose? And the answer is terrifying. His sound, his brand, his earnings, his independence. The very thing that made him a global icon in the first place, at risk of being slowly stripped away, contract clause by contract clause. Because deals like this don't break you in one night. They tighten around you slowly until success itself starts to feel like a prison. And then it gets worse. A leaked conversation reportedly revealed that the arrangement could stretch into every revenue stream. His performances, his merchandise, his business ventures, everything. Imagine that. Burna builds the empire with his own hands, and somebody else walks away with the crown. That's not a partnership. That's a takeover in slow motion.
Stuff like that, like, yeah, so then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door, and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff, they're in the room, they busy, they don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bruh, you ain't going in there, because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them. And he was like, yo, I don't care, man, I'm going in there. That boot like that. I said, yo, bruh, Jesus Christ had to come down here and take the air out of my body before you get in that room right there. Watch. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed it and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, G, that's my cousin. He know me well, you know, and Puff was like, yo, G, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, he just looked, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaking going on. So I was like, oh, he said it was a lot of freaking going on. So that was basically that story, man. You know what I'm saying? They went back in the room, dude felt a certain kind of way, and he left out. So I seen them at the concert the next day, and they tried to, you know, form up against me. But my man Frank was like, I told my man Frank, I was like, yo, Frank, Put yourself in that position. Somebody trying to get in the room and Jai told you don't let nobody get in the room. What would you do? Now y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, man, but you know I ain't taking no losses. He said, yo, you good, and that was it. Bro, when Jai said, you don't want to come up in there, a lot of freaky stuff is going on. You got to use your mind. What they was doing with those butt plugs.
Right.
You'd think with Diddy plugged into Burna Boy's circle, it would be nothing but wins. Hits stacked on hits, awards stacked on awards, pure dominance. But reports are painting a completely different picture, and it's not pretty. At first, yeah, everything looked flawless. Studio sessions splashed across social media, luxury moments, public praise, the kind of polished image that screams unstoppable. But the second the cameras turned off and the doors slammed shut, the mask came down. Tension, disagreements, clashes over money, battles over creative direction. What looked like the alliance of a decade slowly turned into a pressure cooker, and pressure cookers always explode eventually. Before long, the cracks weren't hiding anymore. They were showing. Because here's the brutal truth about the music industry. When the real work starts, the real challenges hit, and the cameras stop rolling, not every perfect partnership survives what's waiting in the dark.
He put the boots to that girl. She's supposed to be a good bitch. No matter who she with. All the time he putting a groom in her. Of course he thought it was still gonna work. He thinks he's God. That ain't doing shit. Raped the f out of that bitch, put the boots to her last time I seen her. Her and her trainer, boyfriend, husband. I don't get no.
So you hear about stories of Diddy like shooting people, blowing up cars.
Yeah.
Is he this gangster that behind the scenes that is that him or is that people
Shout
around?
out to Wendy Williams, the first woman to uncover the homo thugs. That's what these download bitches was called when Wendy first started talking about it in the 90s, the homo thug. She talking about Diddy.
And then what's the stuff that's happening with Wendy Williams? You think this is all connection too?
Of course. They've been waiting. He's been waiting. He was waiting for Kim. Remember? He was waiting. The casket was ready. She was literally casket ready.
Some people are saying the whole Wendy Williams documentary that she's pretty much allegedly playing this way to keep herself safe from him, from any unaliving.
It's been working for Orlando Brown. Why wouldn't it work for Wendy?
To play crazy.
Why wouldn't it work?
Hey, no. Hey.
The oosh gosh whoosh wash and Orlando's brilliant.
Right. Yeah.
Y'all spent time with him.
We did.
Yeah.
He's highly intelligent.
Yes.
Imagine what it's been like to wear this character for this long.
No. I can only...
That he does is a character. Actually, the shit he does online is the best acting he does.
Is he speaking truth?
Of course he is.
Yeah, no. We seen Quad on set.
Major pain in his ass. Literally. Since he was a kid.
Man.
And then eating milk. Well, talking about expensive pain.
No.
In his ass.
Wait, this is Philly you're talking about now. Wait a minute, Jack.
Me.
Wait a minute.
He's a f***ing Fruit Loop. He Diddy 5.
This is Philly.
He's a deep fried period. He Diddy 5. He Diddy fried. He the Diddy do-I-bop. Me. Real rap.
You think that audio that they put out was real?
Yeah, that was him. Nicki put that out there. That Nicki recorded that at the off in the Calabasas. She been waiting to drop that shit on Meek.
Oh, man.
She just wasn't gonna tell nobody it was Diddy. But now that Diddy out there, why not?
So then who's the guy who's claiming he recorded it?
Oh,
The
somebody that got
bouncer.
paid?
Yeah, he said like I was
Yeah,
standing
somebody
outside the
that
door.
got paid.
Yeah.
Just like it wasn't seminal fluid that Justin Bieber was wiping away from his mouth when he brought his face up from Odell Beckham's groin in a club with Trey Songz on the lookout.
The images are there.
Diddy Five.
Now let's break down the real power dynamic, because this is where it gets dangerous. On one side, you got Diddy, decades of influence, a Rolodex full of the most powerful names in entertainment, a man who knows how the machine works because he built the machine. On the other side, Burna Boy, pure raw creativity, a global fan base that moves in real time, an artist who didn't need a cosign to become a king. On paper, it looked like two titans colliding. In reality, fans started noticing something off. Burna's sound began shifting, but not in that exciting evolution way. More like something was being shaped from the outside. Like his fingerprint was being smudged. And it didn't stop with the music. His interviews felt different. His energy felt held back. That fire, that unshakable confidence that made him Burna, suddenly sounded muted, like someone had their hand on the volume knob. What started as a headline-grabbing collaboration was quietly becoming a war. A war over his music, his image, his identity, his voice, and the silence around it. That was the loudest part of all. Because in this industry, silence isn't peace. Silence is the sound of someone losing control.
With the kicking, the punching, they saw what they did to Cassie. They know did nobody in America like that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies, they're not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched, and Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he haven't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man then led them probably, allegedly probably led them to damnation, because those people's hearts are gonna be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man. And he has a history. It's not looking too good for him.
So you feel like celebs are worried that they might be on tape?
Oh, they know. That's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party, but I know I ain't do nothing. When you don't know somebody's taping you, when you don't know that somebody is videoing you in some kind of form of fashion, you got that alcohol, you got the drugs in you, they're a little loose, bruh. They let down all their inhibitions. The music is pumping. He said it himself. He got it so hot in there that you gotta take your clothes off. He said that himself, bruh. So a lot of them, like what he said? I think a lot of them was being swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? They tell off on themselves all the time, man. You just gotta listen.
But why do you think Diddy had all them hidden cameras?
Bruh, when you that powerful, you didn't get that powerful without having 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ups on somebody. Diddy always been the type of individual that want to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. Like, he always played artists against each other. He did it to Big, he did it to Craig Mack. You understand? I said before, he did the stuff to Ja Rule, you know what I'm saying? So had the ups on Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. You understand what I'm saying? So he always played those kind of up games on people. So to have those cameras and know what he was doing, it's gonna give him the ups on everybody who came to that party. Even your favorite basketball player. Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
But just when it looked like Burna Boy was being pushed into a corner with nowhere to run, he came back swinging. Make no mistake, this man is not done. Not by a long shot. He's making it crystal clear that he's still fighting for his position, his power, and his voice. And the other side, they're not backing down either. Every move Burna makes, the opposing camp responds. Every hint he drops, they fire back. What started as whispers and speculation has now escalated into a full-blown standoff, and it's playing out on a level way more serious than fans realized. Both sides are dug in, both sides are watching, and neither one is willing to blink first. So the real question now isn't if something is going to break, it's when. Because this isn't just about a deal anymore. This is about power, legacy, and who really controls the future of one of the biggest stars in the world. And trust me, what comes next, you won't want to miss a single second of it.